Go ahead and start recording here. I hope everybody is doing well. Hello. And we will get started here in just a minute. We're going to start off by going over some of those questions I left you with at the end of class on Monday. While we're waiting here, any exciting news this week they want to share? No exciting news. Monday through Wednesdays are pretty slow part of the week. We'll have to get little polls here for the beginning of class, maybe, as we wait for other classmates. I would be interested. Or maybe Cademan suggested a little game. Maybe we could start off class with a game. Yes, Cademan.
I just wanted to say hi.
Yay.
Do you know how many people are on the line right now?
Yes, it is you and me and Jasper.
Okay. Hi, Jasper.
Awesome. Did you fix the thing where my chat isn't working? Jasper, no one's chat is working. Chat is working. The chat feature is only for people, teachers, or people that are hosting the webinar. So sadly, you're not able to use the chat feature for everyone in the class. But I have found a little bit of a workaround, which we'll see here in just a second, where you all... Oh, Cademan, were you able to use chat? I missed that last time. No, he was not able either. But what will be cool, is that, so let me go ahead and I'm going to send something to the whole chat. Oops. Let's see. All right, if you go ahead and click that link, what should happen is that it should open up, there we go, this Google Doc. And now, there you guys are, Anonymous Tiger and Anonymous Hippo. Not sure which one is which. You should be able to type on this. Now, it looks like for some reason it's view only mode, so let me make sure. Go ahead and under the answer to number 1, go ahead and type your name. Let me see, it might be view only mode right now, so let me see if I can. Yep, here we go. So now you should be able to. If you just refresh that page, you can click up here. You should be able to type, oh, hey Jasper. No, that's okay, that's okay, that happens sometimes. Here, yeah. There we go, I see one down here, Anonymous Chinchilla. Great. Very cool. Very cool. So this is called a collaborative document. Raise your hand if you've ever seen one of these before. Cool. Jasper, you've used these before? Yeah. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put your hands down. This is a super helpful tool, and I think it'll be nice because this way it's a way for you all to type responses that everyone can see, as opposed to just me seeing and then reading out. I will say it does keep a log of everything that is typed, and oh yeah, Jasper, you're logged in now. So just keep that in mind as you use this. This really should be a space for us to discuss engineering, or young engineers of today content, course content. And if you all want to work on a collaborative game, like a game in Scratch, or something like that, that Modo would be a good space for that. But just during class, you really want to keep focused on the class content. And there'll be time to, hopefully as we work in games and stuff like that. But want to make sure we can balance that social aspect with getting some learning done here. All right. So if, and it's okay if, again, this work was absolutely optional, but raise your hand if you can answer this question, what is an engineer? And you can either type the, well, actually, let's get a response typed. Raise your hand, just so we're not all typing on top of each other. Jasper, go ahead. Go for it. A maker of things, very cool. Good start there. And what I like about this collaborative document is let's build on that. So I added that comma. Cademan, do you want to add anything to that? Oh no, that was a great response. You don't have to delete that at all. Great. So now, does anyone want to go ahead and add? So Cademan, is there anything you would like to add to that definition? Yeah, there we go. Ooh, autonomous? Oops. Autonomous. Oh man, I didn't even get that right. Autonomous. There we go. Great. Yeah. So specifically, autonomous cars, maybe that. See, or controlled. Typo. I get that. Okay, so I like this. So an engineer would be used to work on like an autonomous vehicle. But I think that we should keep the definition of engineer much more broad. So we have here, what is an engineer? A maker of things, absolutely. And that alludes to this idea that an engineer is going to add benefit to society. Delete it. No, we are not going to delete it all. But I will delete my part. Ooh. Normally it does just let you delete stuff. I think it is, there we go. I have to confirm that I want to delete it. Okay, so a maker of things. Do that. Yeah, they do call you autonomous hippo. Right now, to me, you are anonymous grizzly. Let's see. So we're going to add to this definition that they are using math and science to improve the world. And a lot of times that is through making things. Making things could mean making a bridge, building a bridge. Making things could be making, hey, anonymous grizzly, let's keep the commentary off of our Google Doc, all right? Or kill it. It was not quite what this engineer is going to do. Okay. Feel free, if you want to comment on our definitions, to still do it through GoToWebinar, but just to keep this Google Doc a little bit cleaner, let's try to keep our nice clean definitions here. All right, use method science to improve the world, making a bridge, making a cure for disease, so designing medicine, engineering medicine, kind of the opposite of what Anonymous Grizzly is currently recommending. And then making an autonomous vehicle. Hey, Anonymous Grizzly, I'm going to try to incorporate your suggestions as well, but I would really appreciate if you respect the kind of the words that I write there. So that's a really important part of collaborative documents, all right? I just added autonomous vehicle in for you. We'll just leave the making a bridge there. All right, and this is going to be a learning process as we work through this Google Doc together. But I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a way that we can really improve our definitions. So a maker of things, that's a great place to start. I think Jasper was really a friend there. Oops. To our first webinar where we talked about tinkering, and we added on to that. These are all just examples. There are many different ways of an engineer. All right. What makes a good engineer? Ooh, let's see the comments here. Oops. Here we go. What makes a good engineer? So I am going to add some bullet points, and then anywhere that you see a bullet point, let me copy this. Oh dear. All right. Let me change it to view mode only for a second. I think we've added too many edits to the Google Doc. Here we go. Let's see our original here. All right, so I changed the mode to view for a second here as I try to fix this. There we go, using math, a maker of things, using math and science to improve the world, and some examples there. And our first answer for this one was a creative mind. I believe that was, I can't remember who. All right, I'm going to go ahead and change this to edit as opposed to comment. Okay, so Cademan, if you want to take these two bullet points here, number 2 and number 3, and type any suggestions. And Jasper, you can do these next two. But we're just going to leave it at 2, so choose your best 2 options, all right? I am going to change it to edit mode. I think that's going to be a little bit easier. But that being said, please be respectful. Go ahead and add your commentary, but then let's come back together in a group and talk about it, all right? So make sure you're not changing anybody else's work. You're just trying to add to the document so we get a full kind of community-built definition here. All right. So I'm going to change it to edit. So that should work for you guys if you refresh. Hey, Cademan, were you just going to suggest an answer?
No, I was going to say you could just unmute everybody and we could just talk to each other.
Yeah, I think that that a lot of times talking is great. You absolutely can still make suggestions and I'll type them for you. I want the group to have this document, and not everybody is super comfortable using the microphones.
Okay.
But great suggestion. Do you want to say what ideas you have for the creative mind?
The ability to envision what you want in your head.
Ooh, I like that. So maybe like a visual thinker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And then that goes with creativity as well and innovation. That kind of skill that's also the big fancy term for that is spatial reasoning. Did you ever build with Legos?
Yes, I have like a giant box of them sitting right next to me. I'm like tinkering with one.
Awesome.
Right now.
First of all, that's great. Having something like Legos next to you can be really helpful when you're trying to learn, because it's a way to, be able to move stuff with your fingers and listen better with your mind. So that really helps with spatial reasoning. Legos, they're awesome. Great. Being able to micromanage your project. Ooh, Jasper, that's great. Perfect. So yeah, being able to balance that workload. That is challenging and really important. So I like these. Some other ones I'm going to add. I'm not taking anyone's bullet points here. I'm going to add a couple. Include being able to work as part of a team. Being persistent, which means not giving up. And studying hard in math and science. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. Just looking at our time, I want us to be able to start HTML here. Thank you guys for working with me as we go through this Google Doc. I'll change these to blue so you guys can see what you did here. Great answers so far. Did anyone take a chance to learn about a different field of engineering? And if so, raise your hand if you would like to kind of talk about what you learned. And that does not mean you do not need to talk on the microphone. You can type if you want, but raise your hand if you want to. All right, Cademan, what did you learn about?
This isn't immediate, but
yeah.
I'm good with computer engineering, both hardware and software. Like your generic sense of engineering, like building stuff. And then I also do nuclear engineering, aerospace engineering, space engineering, weaponry engineering.
Yeah, so you just talked about a lot of different areas where engineers are used.
Yep.
What the question was asking was specifically kind of that one field of engineering. So where you hear space, that would be like aerospace engineering. Maybe with general engineering, you may have been talking about civil. But is there any kind of specific maybe fact then you want to share?
No.
Nothing comes to mind.
Or I do kind of have one.
Go for it.
I'm coming up with an idea for a spaceship using an external ion engine. I'm actually going to have to write it out, but
oh yeah,
I have a plan for it in my head.
Very cool. Visualizing in your head. That's awesome.
Like flaming lightning, electricity everywhere, purple goo. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I like the specific.
It's like a aurora borealis coming out of the butt of my plane.
Great. Well, I look forward to riding on this ionic engine-powered vehicle sometime in the future.
Ion engine.
Ion engine. I apologize.
Yeah.
All right.
It's an external.
Okay. All right, well, let's get started then on learning about some HTML. Why are we learning HTML? We are learning HTML because we are going to be building this digital portfolio. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is the language of the web. So something that may be surprising to you is that the internet and the web are not the same thing. The web is just one part of the internet. The internet dates back way, way, way before the web. It was actually an experiment put on by the military and universities in order to link computers so that research could be done a lot faster. People could share their research a lot faster. So that word internet comes from this idea of interconnected networks. And it is very old in comparison to the web. The internet dates back to the 1960s. The web only dates back to 1990. So essentially in 1990, someone called Tim Berners-Lee came up with the idea of being able to send and receive very, very small files that that any computer could open using software called a browser. Does anyone know of a web browser? What's an example of a web browser? Jasper says Safari, absolutely. Google Chrome, Internet Explorer. So all of these are great web browsers. And so that's that software. Actually, what your web browser does is it opens these HTML files. And we're going to see how that works today. So the goals for today, we're going to learn what is HTML and how it works. We're going to learn about using an editor and a web host. And then eventually we're going to make our own web page. So, as a reminder, we are technology creators, not just technology consumers. So we're going to be using something called Google Site to host our wonderful e-portfolio. But we really want to understand what it means to make an e-portfolio before we put this online, right? So we're going to do this to demonstrate our learning, to show off our work and projects, and to show others just how awesome you are. So it's a really good process. And so Google Site is easy to use, which is great. It's very customizable look and feel, and there's lots of these different templates. But just because something is easy to use doesn't mean that you shouldn't take a peek inside and kind of see how it runs. And that's really what we're doing here with HTML. We want to see how exactly does Google Site work, and what are the lines of code. And I'm putting code in quotes because technically HTML is not a programming language. You're not writing code. You're writing something called markup. It's a markup language, which is very, very similar to a programming language, but we just want to use the right terminology here. So we're going to see kind of what code is created when Google Site allows you to kind of click and drag things around. We'll get back to this. But basically this idea is that this site will be live on the web. Remember, the web is just a section of the internet. If the internet was a restaurant, then yes, if the internet was a restaurant, the web would be the most popular item on the menu. Most people, when they're connecting to the internet, they're connecting to the web. But that's not true of all of you have PTP, you have email. These things are slightly different than they are powered through the internet. They are a part of the internet, but they are actually separate from the web. So all of the web is the internet, but not all of the internet is the web. Just kind of like how all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. All right, and let's see. Any questions on that so far? Ooh, yeah, Cademan's. Yeah, Firefox is another example of a web browser. Good, Jasper. Cademan's looking forward to some tacos in a minute here. The dark web is about 70% of the web. That's true. The dark web is a fascinating thing here. Well, I'm not sure about the 70%, but let's see here. So this is just saying that this will be live on the internet. People would be able to access your information. So we're going to keep these Google sites really private. Even though we're really going to be putting out good information that you might want other people to see, you know, especially your friends and family. We're going to keep it really private just to keep your information safe. All right. So this HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext here refers to the idea that web pages are filled with links. These links just link you to another web page. Markup language refers to, let's take a look here. This is like what the inside of a, trying to go into a big example here. This is an example of the inside of a web page. These brackety things, these kind of right angle brackets here, these are called tags. And what they do is they tell the web browser, the piece of software that's going to open this file, they tell that web browser how to display text. So you're marking up the text that you want the web browser to put up, to display. All right, so that's where you get that markup from. And we're definitely going to go into more detail here. It's this markup aspect is that these tags are going to tell your web browser how you want your website to look. Yeah, they first appeared on the internet in 1991, and it became a global standard for websites in 2000. This means that every single website today uses HTML, though there are different versions of HTML. So something that's really cool that you can do, let's see here. Let's go to Yahoo News. All right. You can actually all right, I will pull this up in just a second. There is a, oops, oh gosh, I don't even know how that just happened. All right, there we go. There is a way to actually look at kind of the bare bones of every website. Here we go. All right, so what I just did is I right-clicked. I'm using Google Chrome on a PC. It's a little bit different how I revealed this information. It's a little bit different on every computer. And I'm just doing this to show you what the inside of this computer or of this website looks like, what the file that this web page is built from looks like. So let me explain a little bit what I'm doing here. Google Chrome, this software that is on my computer, is displaying this file. You can see over here. It's displaying it on my computer. This file is saved on Yahoo's servers. And the server is essentially just like a big computer that's somewhere else. Yahoo is sending me this file to my computer, from its computer to my computer, through the internet, through that interconnected network, specifically through the web. And the language of the web, the way that the web works, is by sending these HTML documents that just look like this, that you'd be able to open and look at, just like we can look at this text document right here. Yes, it's all colorful, and you can see the different, this blue. That's just because Google Chrome is displaying it in a way that makes it easier to read. And what's cool about being able to inspect the site is that you can hover over these different portions and it'll show you kind of what each section is doing, what each section of the HTML code is actually doing. So this will be in the body here. So let's see. Right here, this whole section of code, this section of code here is going to be affecting something to do with these pictures. And as this site is very dynamic, they have all sorts of these nested pieces here that as you click the triangle, it reveals more code, etc. But the point of this exercise is just to show that even if a website looks like there is a lot there, the file itself is just text. Text surrounded by these tags, or we could say marked up, so that the web browser can display it in a way that looks very cool, very dynamic, lots of images, and have all of these effects, like when you roll over text, it turns blue. All of that is just words, just text, linked with things like image files and links to other HTML documents. Okay, we are absolutely going to do an example website where you see this, where you actually code it out yourself. It's not going to look as fancy as this Yahoo News site, not right away, but it will essentially be running on those same principles. All right. Yes, Jasper. All right, Jasper, it looks like you're muted on your end. Do you have a question? Oh, there you go.
So I know how to go into the HTML thing and change what pictures look like to what pictures I want to do.
Really? Oh, awesome.
But it only changes until I reload the page and then it's back to normal.
Oh, very, very cool. That's great. How did you learn how to do that, Jasper?
My friend is in Young Engineers of Today and he taught me how to do it.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, then you have a little bit of a image or HTML practice, and that should be really helpful. I also just want to say, by doing that, by going in and practicing on your own, that is exactly how, people, really good coders get started, and that's how they become as successful as they are. All right. So we have these documents saved on servers. Your computer goes out through the route, most likely the router that's in your house. There's a Bluetooth technology in your device that connects to Bluetooth technology in that router. And when you type into your web browser that you want to go to Yahoo News, it is going to look up in something called your domain name system. It's going to look up the location of those servers. It's going to find the HTML document, and it is just a text document. It is going to find that document, and it is going to temporarily open that document using your web browser so that you can see it. This HTML document is going to be filled with links to other docs that you can click on, and it'll have you jump around to other HTML docs. All right. And that HTTP that you see up here, this is HTTPS. HTTP stands for hypertext. We saw that with HTML, right? HTML stands for hypertext markup language. HTTP stands for hypertext transfer protocol. And of course, this is going into some detail here. It talks about how your internet, or how you, the client, interacts with the server, how your computer would talk to YouTube. YouTube is a good example. Servers store all the web page information as a raw HTML file. And that raw just means that it's just that text, and your software is actually doing the work and pulling the images and putting them on the website. This says HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And up here, that's where you normally see the HTTP, right? http://www.youtube.com, something like that. Does anyone know what the HTTPS stands for? What that S might stand for? I will give you a hint. It has to do with that lock. Any guesses? When something has a lock on it, what does that mean about it? Is your bike safer if there's a lock on it or if there isn't a lock on it? No guesses? All right, it means secure. So if a lot of times now if you look up, you won't see HTTP, you'll see HTTPS, and that stands for secure. So that way you know that your information is traveling safely between the server and your computer. And that can be really important because you want to make sure that the information that you're typing in only goes and gets saved safely on the server where no one else can see it. Yeah, hackers can't hack you. Exactly, Jasper. Exactly, because everybody goes to the same Yahoo News, kind of, right? Your ads might be different, but you end up at that same HTML file. I don't want everyone to be able to end up here. This is something that is, I don't want everyone to be able to see, but it's not saved on my computer. It's saved on Google's server. So, all right. We're going to skip forward a little bit here so you guys can start writing your own, your first website. Raise your hand if you're using a PC. Cademan, excellent. This next piece is going to be just for Mac users. So you should be okay for just for the next couple minutes here. Jasper, can you raise your hand if that means you're using a Mac? Great. So Jasper, do you know where text edit, can you open text edit on your computer? And whenever you have that open, can you raise your hand, please? And if you don't know how to open text edit, you can hit Command spacebar, and start typing in text. Okay, great. And what happens, so what Cademan and I will be doing on our computers is using Notepad. And you can see that Notepad doesn't give you a lot of options. You're typing in this beautiful size 12 Courier New. You can't change the way your font looks. You can't change the color of your font. But when you first open TextEdit, you can. That's because Notepad is saving it as just plain text, meaning it is just saving the characters themselves. Whereas right now, Jasper, your TextEdit is saving it as what's called rich text, meaning that it saves information about the font color, etc. And you just want it to save information about the text. As in when I say text there, I mean just the words. So what you have to do is up on your format menu, at the top, you have to click Format, Make Plain Text. And now it should look like this. And Jasper, if you could raise your hand if you're able to successfully get this to work. Great, perfect. All right, looks like Cademan got dropped. Well, hopefully he joins. Joins back in just a second. All right, Jasper, well, I will go ahead and let you get started on typing your first website. Here, this might be you right now. Oh, Cademan's back. Great. Cademan, can you hear me now? Great. Hey, Cademan, can you hear me?
Yes,
Great.
I'm back.
Excellent. We're glad to have you back. Can you...
I had to reload the whole thing. My
Oh,
computer
gosh.
died. I forgot to plug it in.
Oh, that probably
I have
explains
a
why you couldn't hear
laptop,
me.
and I moved into a different room to do it, so
Gotcha. Well,
it
you were
all
real
died.
speedy. Okay, do you know where to find Notepad on your computer? The program Notepad?
Yes.
Great. Go ahead and open that up. Hopefully, Cademan and Jasper, you're not too much like this fellow here, and you're ready to actually type your first website. So you should be able to see this text here. What I'm going to ask you guys to do is just copy this code into a blank Notepad file. So it should look like this. It should say Untitled Notepad. Jasper, you will be using TextEdit. And I'm going to go ahead and send you an image. Let's see here. So you should have this now. It'll be a PNG file, and I'm going to add it as a handout for today. So you should be able to pull that open on your computer. It says first website. And I'm going to go ahead and type it out as well. And then we're going to talk through what it actually means. Now, this piece, if you have never coded before, and Jasper and Cademan, you may have, and some people will be watching this recording, the one thing that can be really frustrating with coding is that everything you type has to be exactly right. So what I recommend is just really take your time and type it out slowly. You can see I made a spelling typo here. Yes, Cademan.
Yes.
You had your hand
Yeah,
raised.
I can't. Oh, I forgot to lower it, but I can't find it.
Okay.
I'm looking under in my profile or in my settings. I can't find it.
Do you have, what version of Windows do you have?
I have 10.
Okay, so do you have this thing in the bottom of your screen that says Ask Me Anything?
Cordana?
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't have it turned on. I have it, but it's not turned on. So
Gotcha.
won't
You should
work.
be able to just type in it, though.
Oh, try that. Wait one moment. When it's not appearing. Don't know why.
Okay.
My Wi-Fi?
Let's try. No, you should be
I
able
went.
to just find it. It should be on every computer. So try clicking on the Start menu. It looks like that window. And go into, there should be an option called All Apps. Do you see that?
Yes, I have it. Oh, yeah, here's Cordana. Click. There we go.
And then,
Search.
yeah, search, or you can scroll down, and Notepad should be under the N there. Ooh, Notepad is not under mine. Huh.
Oh, here's mine.
You got yours? Okay, good. It might be because mine was open. All right, and go ahead and just start typing there. Now, really important for both of you, Jasper, if you finish, I'm going to put both of your hands down. Just raise your hand whenever you finish typing. By all means, take your time here. But if you finish, do not save yet. You have to save the file as a .html file in a specific way, or else it's going to give you some trouble. So please, please, please do not save yet. Normally, I'm going to tell you guys, save, save, save as you go. But in this case, no. And the first thing I want you to do is type it as exactly as you see it here. And then as we move forward, I'll have you edit and make changes to try to see if you guys can figure out what changes you would need to make in order to make the website kind of more individual to you. Let's see here. Oh, done but can't raise your hand? Okay, Jasper. Don't know why it's not letting you raise your hand, but uh-oh. Oh, you're back. Okay. Oh, okay, you're back. And Caden is done as well. Great. Awesome, guys. You're some fast typers. All right. So now what we're going to do is a little different for Mac users versus PC users. So I appreciate you guys' patience as we go through this. The basic idea here, oh no, this is the same. Okay. Wait, done, how, help. Hey, Caden, what do you need help with?
I didn't say done. I was gone for like the last 3 minutes of your conversation, so I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I know I'm supposed to type, but when am I supposed to type?
Oh, okay. No.
That's the question. Cody Shakespeare.
So under handouts, you should see that there is an image that says firstwebsite.png.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the code that you see up on my screen as well. And so what you missed when you were charging up your computer is that we were just going to go ahead and jump in and try to make a website first, and then we're going to explain what the HTML is actually saying and doing. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay, so you got Notepad open and just take your time. As I know you've coded before, one little mistake in punctuation will mean that the page doesn't load, which can sometimes be frustrating. So just take your time as you type, okay? Cademan, because saving works a little differently for Macs versus PCs, I'm going to go ahead and help Jasper save so that he can see his web page and kind of edit it for the last few minutes of class here, but go ahead and take your time. Oh, I see here, Cademan. It was just Jasper had said done several times, so sorry for that confusion. Okay, so Jasper, go ahead and try just doing File, Save As. Make sure you know where on your computer you're saving. For right now, I just saved to my desktop so I have easy access to the document. And on your screen is going to look a little different. But essentially, what you want to make sure you're doing is that you are not saving this file as a .txt, that instead you're saving this file as a .html. So this .txt, for both those of you who are here today, but also those listening to the recording, that is the file extension. It's how your computer knows the instructions for how to open the file and what kinds of programs can run that file. So .txt means it's a plain text file. HTML means that's that hypertext markup language file. So we're going to save this, and you're going to save it as index.html. Index.html. Index is the name that websites give to their front page. Yeah, Cademan caught the young engineers. All right, once you have that, you can go ahead and hit save. Find the file on your desktop or wherever you saved it on your computer. Right-click it, and instead of opening it with TextEdit, open it with a browser. It doesn't matter which browser you choose. This is Chrome. Cademan, I see your hand, and in just a second I'm going to help you. I just want to get Jasper going here. What you should see is that it pops up. This is where your file is saved on your computer. Yay! Oh, good, Jasper, I'm glad it worked. Jasper, what I want you to do now is try and change it so that instead of saying Young Engineers of Today up here on the top tab, it says whatever you want. And maybe it could say my favorite website or my new website. And then where it says hello class, make it say instead something like hello Miss Dubik or hello Cademan or something like that, or whatever kind of greeting that you want it to say. Hello humans. Maybe it's a robot typing the text. And then Cademan, so you're going to follow a real, let me see, raise your hand if you're finished typing. You had your hand raised, so I wasn't sure if that meant you were finished. Okay. Oh, good, Jasper. Nice. If you want to, so let's see here. We got a few minutes left. Jasper, if you want, go ahead and show take a screenshot and put it on Edmodo. We can check out your fine, wonderful work. So, Cademan, raise your hand if you don't mind if I unmute you, please. Great. Just checking in. How are you doing with the typing?
I'm about 3/4 of the way done. I'm to the final where it says body.
Awesome. So no rush there, no worries. I did want to just check in. Go ahead and just file, just so I can walk you through this process. File, save as. And does your file saving look similar to what mine looks like, where it has that asterisk and then the .txt?
Yeah.
Okay. Go
You
ahead.
see it?
Yeah. Go ahead and name your file index dot or period HTML. Just make sure you know where you're saving it. I'm saving mine to my desktop.
Okay.
Okay, so now whenever you finish typing out this initial text, you can find the file on your desktop, like you can see mine up here, and you can right-click and open it. Instead of opening it with Notepad, you can open it with Google Chrome, and something like this should pop up. What I want you to do when you finish before next time, and we'll have the option, opportunity to continue this next time, but if you want to try, you can try to change what text is up here and the text that is right here by changing that sample code that I sent out. Okay?
Okay.
Sounds good. Okay, so both Caden and Jasper, Jasper posted it on Edmodo. I'm definitely going to go check that out. What I want you to see, let's see here, in these last 2 minutes, I have another optional homework assignment that should just check in to see if you were able to follow along. Now this homework is going to be a little tricky, so we didn't get quite as far as I thought. It's the html1.pdf I just posted under handouts. And it says, can you spot and fix all 4 errors? So for right now, can you spot just the punctuation errors or take a guess at maybe what went wrong in this code? And we'll talk about that at the start of class on Monday. And you all do not have webinar, lab tomorrow. You had lab last week, so you do not have lab tomorrow. Remember, this is completely optional. The more important part of this assignment is think about a name for your Google site. Because me personally, I like to have a pun in the names of my Google sites, so I like to have plenty of time to kind of think about what I want to say. I hope you guys have enjoyed learning about HTML, and we will add and check out more stuff. If you write a page that you like, that you were able to kind of change the text around a little bit, or maybe Jasper, you want to try to add an image using some of the techniques you learned for changing out the Google images, go ahead and post a screenshot of what you did in Edmodo. I'd love to see. Have an absolutely wonderful weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll about the pacing. Poll must be closed. Okay. So go ahead, and if you don't mind responding, great. And these questions are they are anonymous, and they are not going to hurt our feelings at all. It is just to get a good view on how webinars and labs are going so far, just to make sure you guys are enjoying them. And we'll change up the questions every once in a while. And we appreciate you answering honestly. And then this last one here, how did you enjoy the last lab? Great. All right, you two, I am very much enjoying working with you guys with the webinars. I will keep thinking about ways that we can work collaboratively. I enjoyed working on that Google Doc with you guys today. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Monday.